everybody. Welcome to Coffee Chat. I'm Andy Bozarth, Community Outreach Director for AARP Kansas, and I'm joined today by Guy Windholz, our 2019 Andrus Award winner, and he's here to talk about volunteerism and a little bit about what's going on in Ellis County, Kansas. Hi, Guy. Welcome.
Morning.
How are you doing today?
Excellent. Excited to be here and be able to promote a little bit of Ellis County, the western part of the state, and answer any questions you may have. And gratified that you do these programs. I try to get on as often as possible. There's so many great programs, Fraud Alert, that you can learn from this station, and the Alzheimer's, the Parkinson's, and just the last group of ladies that talked about animals, how they're good for people's esteem and worthwhile contributions there.
Yeah,
and
well,
Friday nights, your musical programs, I catch those once in a while. There's a good variety of different kinds of music for about an hour in the evening on Friday. So those are nice.
That's great. And we really appreciate Guy here at AARP. As I said, he was our 2019 Andrus Award winner. And a little bit about him, for those of you who don't know him, he has been an Ellis County Commissioner for 8 years. He's a former nursing home administrator. He retired from 16 years as a food safety inspector in Kansas. He's a member of our local AARP chapter. That's how I got to know him. He's president of the Hays Senior Center, and he's a board member and the curator of the Austrian German Ancestral Society in Ellis County, Kansas. And that gives you just a little bit of information about what Guy does. And Guy, you want to tell me a little bit about well, start with telling me a little bit about Ellis County. I know that's something that is real important to you.
It's dear to my heart. I think looking back, and I don't want to get into a debate, but I think Ellis County packs probably more history, boldly speaking, than just about anybody else around in other places. I want to point out maybe one fact that, for instance, in Ellis, Kansas, we have, where would you find a community of 2,000 people that have 3 museums within 3 blocks of each other? One being a entrepreneur, the boyhood home of Walter P. Chrysler, the auto empire giant, and we have the Railroad Museum. We have a little aero train that runs, which is a great tourist attraction for us. And from that railroad track, the immigrants from Austria, Germany, well, as we know it as Bukovina, which is in current day Romania, disembarked on those trains, and they took root to raise their families in America. And that is what was the creation of our Bukovina Society, to honor the legacies and the histories that they brought with them, and to make a new life for their families.
Wow. And can you tell me exactly where Ellis County is, and where Ellis, Kansas is, and if somebody wanted to get there, how would they get there?
Right off of I-70, you just come down Washington Street and you'll cross the creek. We have a great little campground site there. People park and visit and tourists. It's becoming more of a tourist destination than a lot of people think. So it's easy to access off Interstate 70. I believe it's exit 145, and just catch the local town charm. We had just recently, I'm very big on WPA history, love that, and just recently had a ribbon cutting on the new swimming pool that was erected there through grants and the likes. And it's a 1939 limestone structure built by the WPA back then. So that was a very enjoyable adventure. We have, I should type in some websites that you could get to be able to view this. One of them is Ellis, Kansas Photos in History. It's a website where we try to concentrate on a lot of things that happen in Ellis, and it's sort of a bedroom community to Hays, you might say, and a lot of people from Ellis that live here have their jobs in Hays.
Oh, very interesting. How far is Ellis from Hays?
From how about a 12.5 minute drive? That's what it takes me to get over there and back. I live in Hays, but that's what it takes me to get over there. My mother was from Ellis. She was an
Okay.
in Ellis, and my father was born in a little town called Emram, Kansas, north of Victoria. So he came over there as a rural school teacher out in a one-room schoolhouse out there. Met my wife, and that they produced 4 sons, and I'm their honorary one. And
Yes.
and so yeah, it's dear to my heart in that sense, and that's why we have. It was created in 1985. This particular society, it's international in scope, and we have memberships that go up into Canada, Washington State, even down in Argentina and Brazil, where some of those migrants that were coming across the oceans had to go, and got some great artifacts in our museum. We try to open that upon request, and I'm especially thrilled by the Armbruster families that gave us a loan to say everything's on loan, but gave us a trunk. A lady 9 months pregnant sails across the ocean with 9 kids.
Oh my!
To meet up with her husband. This is so inspirational to see that trunk, and it's labeling with the Baltimore harbor that it went. A lot of them left from Bremen, Germany, to get to our country, and so we're packed with history and artifacts, and always enjoy entertaining people. Plus, we promote this through the Ellis Review local newspaper there, and they feature a lot of our stories and visitors that come and go to our society museum.
That's great. And I know you volunteer with the museums in Ellis, and you were actually recognized as the Andrus Award winner in 2019 for your volunteerism. And so if anybody knows a great volunteer like Guy, and you want to nominate them for the Andrus Award for 2021, or please go to aarp.org/Andrus and nominate a great volunteer so that we can honor them with the Andrus Award. For the Andrus, you do not have to be an AARP member. We just look at what your work in the community has been. So please nominate somebody at www.aarp.org/Andrus. And let's talk a little bit more about volunteerism. I know that you're on the board for the senior center there in Hays. And can you?
That's true. That is dear to my heart. Back in doing inspections in the 22 counties of Northwest Kansas, I had the pleasure to go into each senior center, and always gravitated to them, even as a commissioner, that we respect and honor. And I mean, we have the remaining people of the greatest generation among us, and we need to recognize that. In Ellis County, they account for 70% of the economic driving force of the community. So they contribute so much to us, and we have to recognize that. Our hopes are to have a new Hays Senior Center. And I have to give credit. On our walls hang 3 instrumental founders of the Hays Senior Center. Dr. Lenora Stroop, she was in the nursing department at Fort Hays State. Dr. William Moreland was also in the political history departments of Fort Hays State. And a dear friend of mine who passed away was Calvin Harbin. And I have an interesting story about him. he's a man that inspired me to volunteer and want to make the Hays Senior Center grow the most. He met one time with Congressman Bob Dole at that time. They were mapping out strategies and services that are needed to be taken to give attention more to the seniors in our communities. He related, talking to me with Honorable Senator Dole, that this was probably the thing that spurred the Older Americans Act in America, which then gave growth to the meal site programs that serve the seniors in and out of their homes. We're not currently, we do have people that come in, pick up meals, and will eat at our local senior center. By the same token, it is our desire to get more volunteers involved. And because of Zoom and the United Way in Ellis County, we scored 2 young people that are aggressive. Jennifer O'Gorney works at the Children's Center. On a Zoom meeting with United Way, we were able to capture her interest, and she joined as a board member. And our new elected sheriff, Scott Brown, came on board, and he has a very keen interest in serving the elderly. So we're gratified to have people like that come on board. So we're looking to a bright future for the Hays Senior Center, and we want to get that thing open. We want to get the local AAR chapter for people to get together again. We used to have a separate place we went to and had a meal for those people, sometimes numbering 30 or 40. I meant to get the total number of our membership in AARP, but didn't have quite the time to go ahead and call Diana Kerner is probably the one most responsible, chatting with their board at one time to move me forward in the nomination process. I thank her. She's been a great leader to us. And so, but back to Dr. Harbin and talking with Bob Dole. Bob Dole says this is important. So God bless Bob Dole for his efforts and having the foresight with our local people to move forward in serving the seniors of our communities.
Yes, I think that's wonderful. The Bob Dole was a wonderful representative for Kansas, and I know he's from out by Ellis or out by Hays, and so he was a wonderful representative for Kansas, and especially Western Kansas when he was in office.
Right. He hails from Russell, 25 miles east of Hays. So he's been, politics aside, he was a good man because he could work across the aisles in times. And so I think he brought a lot of leadership, a lot of respect by all political parties. So we avoid a lot of discussions on politics and religion. That's always proper to just keep that off to the side. But fine man and a contributor to the actually to the Ellis County Courthouse Preservation Committee we had going on at the time. So he thought a lot of that. He thought a lot of the community, as are our local representatives who are always back, always willing to listen and have an open ear. And we just wish I wish the politics would get a little less personal and be more in conjunction with what's good for America.
Well, and as you know, because you're an AARP volunteer, AARP is a nonpartisan organization, and we don't support any political parties or any candidates. We work on issues that impact the 50-plus population and their families. And we are a volunteer organization. So what we do, we celebrate. We couldn't do the work that we do without our volunteers like you. And we're talking today about what's happening in Ellis County. And we're also talking about the Andrus Award, which is an award, a national award that AARP gives to an exceptional volunteer every year. And if you know an exceptional volunteer like Guy, who was our 2019 Andrus Award winner, go to www.aarp.org/Andrus to nominate that volunteer for the award. Let's see. I know you wanted to talk about lots of different things today, but can you tell me a little bit about what and who inspired you to be a volunteer?
It would be the likes of Calvin Harbin. It would be the respect I had for a 16-year veteran on the county commission, Harold G. Krause. And I really miss those guys because they had the true leadership and they had a true heart in the game. And it's because of that. Andrea's Ethel, her motto, her motto is let me get that straight: to serve, not to be served.
Yes.
So it's a selfless act of people that bring a community to its forefront and to its glory, and at the same time, with those people at the helm doing this stuff. Unsung heroes. There's people every day that should have gotten this award more so than yours truly. But they all impact everything, and everybody has a goal in life. If you would give 1 hour a month to any of these worthy organizations that are supported by United Way, gosh, that could mean all the difference in the world. We're all caught up in family and fun and activities, but gosh, it makes a difference in other people's lives when you can serve some other people and make them happy. And so that's the nutshell in the game is let's all play this game together and make it exciting and fun and worthwhile and getting up in the morning.
You are correct. I agree with you 100%. And Dr. Ethel Percy Andrus is the founder of AARP, and she truly believed. She was a volunteer her whole time when she worked at AARP. It was all done by volunteer hours on her part, and her motto was to serve, not to be served. And that has been ingrained in AARP throughout the time, and is still the motto for our AARP chapters. And if you know a great volunteer, please go to www.aarp.org/Andrus and nominate them for this award that has been named in Dr. Ethel Percy Andrus's name. And you do not have to be an AARP member. We just look at your community service, and that is what the award is based on, is what you do in your community. And Guy, you do a lot in your community. Can you tell me a little bit more about, can you tell me about being a county commissioner? What that was like? Or what is it like to be an actual commissioner in your county? What do you do?
Well, for a lot of people, it's a thankless job, and they're really on the hot seat all of the time. The armchair coffee drinking guys that complain about them, they deep down in their heart, they won't want to do it. But I'll tell you what, the admiration has to go out for people that's willing to stick out their neck on school boards, and the school board members don't get paid. We did get a stipend as county commissioners. The city commissioners, I think, we get very little, and in Ellis, I don't believe they're even paid at all, or Victoria. But yeah, it can be a thankless job, but it's still you got a little satisfaction in yourself that you're trying to do something good. So, gosh, let's cut them some slack. Let's cut them some slack. And work with them instead of criticizing. Yes. Work with them. Call them up. Don't badmouth them in the coffee shop. Why don't you call them up and get to know the people? They all have a good heart, and they wouldn't be doing it if they didn't care for you folks.
That's true. Yes, I think our county commissioners and city council members, people are very underrated in the amount of work that they put in to keep things going. And again, I'm Andy Bozarth, Community Outreach Director for AARP Kansas, and this is the Coffee Chat. Welcome to those of you who are just joining us. If you have any questions, please put those into the chat box, and I know Guy would be happy to talk about them. We're talking today about Ellis County and the Andrus Award for Volunteer Service, which is an award that is given out annually. And Guy won our 2019 Andrus Award. So if you know a volunteer who is deserving, please go to aarp.org/Andrus and nominate that volunteer. Let's see. We have a comment. We have a comment in the chat that says welcome. And we have somebody in the chat who says they are from Gladstone, Missouri watching us. What would you tell somebody from Gladstone, Missouri about Ellis County?
Gladstone, Missouri. Missouri is known as the Show Me State.
Right.
We'd like to join Missouri in allowing us to show us. and Missouri, I have two kids that live on one border of in Kansas City, actually on the border of Missouri. So they work on the Missouri side of the line for a national company. And welcome, Missouri. I'm glad to have you on board here watching this. And the same holds true. You can be an advocate for your state and for your community by encouraging people to volunteer for whatever it is. It could be the dog pound. I mean, I would not be opposed to running out there on a free hour or something if I had a free hour of just cleaning up or something, or doing something, or maybe manicuring a part of your city or something without just pick up some trash if you see it or something like that. Make your community look good, make it look inviting. And I think this speaks well. And God bless you in Missouri for tuning in. And I hope that you can have the success that I think Kansas has. I think we're out in middle America. And and you're just right with us too. So God bless you.
Thanks, Guy. And Guy, you are one of our regular coffee chat watchers. I always appreciate your comments in the comment section. And so do you have anything that you'd like to share about the coffee chats that you've watched?
The coffee chats, and I can't remember now, when you get 71, you start getting these little things. I think I mentioned the fact of the good programming, the Alzheimer's and the Parkinson's, and the fraud alert guy that comes on and talks about fraud. That's a very serious thing for that. Watch your phones, and I've learned something every time that he's on. Watch your phones. Watch these calls that come in. If you don't recognize the number, I go Google it first to see if it's a spam. My wife gets 4 or 5 calls a day. I just wish there was something we could do to be able to track these people and get them fined, get them off the internets, get them off the phone systems. It's kind of a pet peeve. It's irritating, to say the least, of getting these text messages and unwanted emails from these people. So that fraud is a big thing.
Right, and AARP actually has a volunteer program called Fraud Watch Network. So if you're interested in volunteering in Fraud Watch Network, give me a call. We have a lot of volunteers who do presentations, as Guy was saying, on Fraud Watch Network. And if you find yourself a victim of fraud, go to www.aarp.org/fraudwatchnetwork and report it. So there's a place you can report what kind of frauds are happening in your neighborhood, so people know what is happening around where they live if they go to Fraud Watch Network. So Guy, this has been a lot of fun. It's really good to catch up with you. And thank you so much for always joining us on the Coffee Chat. And congratulations again on your Andrus Award from 2019. And thank you so much for stepping in today to talk to us on Coffee Chat. I appreciate you very much.
Can I make one little plug?
Sure.
What Ellis has is it's very unusual for a town this small for the whole state of Kansas. But our mayor, David McDaniel, was also awarded Mayor of the Year for the state of Kansas. So we're proud of his contributions to that, and he's involved with the Railroad Museum and a lot of things in the community. And also, let me just pass this on to you. I got to show this off. I love the American Red Cross. In a nutshell.
We're all in this together. Yes, we are.
So it was my pleasure, and thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much. And for those of you watching, please stop in Ellis County, to the towns in Ellis County when you are driving an I-70. They're right there on the highway. And so, Guy, thank you very much. To those of you who are joining us, we'll see you next week when we have a discussion with Matt Miller and the weather dog Lola. So thank you, and we'll see you next week.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.